Look closely at how financial operations used to run. To keep track of capital, organizations had to dedicate hundreds of employees and massive amounts of physical floor space just to store endless rows of paper records. Verifying a single account meant pulling physical files and hand-calculating individual ledgers on mechanical adding machines. Every transaction required physical materials, human hours, and significant operational friction to process. The fourth industrial revolution is moving finance out of the filing cabinet. By digitizing financial tools, institutions can eliminate the massive physical footprints and material waste that historically dragged down their operations. A recent study analyzing data from 230 finance and technology professionals confirms this. The results show that deploying specific financial technologies directly reduces material waste and optimizes how a company utilizes its resources. Turning your financial operations into an engine for environmental sustainability requires sequence. You have to follow a specific 4-step strategic roadmap to make it work. Step 1 is moving all core transactions onto digital payment systems, like e-wallets and dedicated online portals. Going digital immediately strips out paper-based transaction costs. It removes physical checks and invoices, cutting down processing times and allowing revenue cycles to accelerate. This diagram maps the relationship between technologies and improvements. Look at the link extending from digital payments into organizational innovation. The 0.372 path coefficient proves digital payment systems are the strongest standalone driver of innovation among these financial technologies. Moving money faster is a side effect. The primary goal of establishing digital payments is building the real-time data pipeline you need to power the next phases of your operation. Step 2 introduces blockchain technology. This allows you to decentralize capital validations and secure the exact history of your transactions. Historically, tracking physical assets meant relying on manual transit tags and disjointed records. If a tag was lost or altered, the entire history of an asset's journey disappeared with it. Organizations often stall here. They try to apply blockchain to every single department, disrupting their entire operation at once and failing to launch. Keep the scope narrow. Set up a private, permissioned blockchain strictly for internal accounting, or use a targeted public ledger specifically to track the environmental footprint of your supply chain. This flowchart illustrates how that works in practice. Once an eco-friendly supply chain milestone is met and logged on the ledger, it automatically triggers a smart contract to execute the next phase of the process. That creates an immutable record. Because the ledger cannot be altered, modern investors receive undeniable proof that your eco-friendly practices are actually happening. Step 3 is deploying artificial intelligence and machine learning to process the massive data pools you started collecting in Step 1. You plug big data platforms like Hadoop or Spark into your systems. These analyze massive data sets to automate decision-making, catch fraudulent transactions, and pinpoint exact areas where resources are being wasted. Operations shift from reacting to old problems to anticipating future ones, converting manual credit assessments into automated credit ratings, updating based on live behavioral data. But those predictive models cannot function in a vacuum. AI algorithms produce completely useless results unless they are fed by the clean, reliable data pipelines you established with your digital payment systems. By identifying inefficiencies early, predictive algorithms allow you to eliminate operational waste before the physical resources are ever consumed. Step 4 is cultivating organizational innovation. This is the bridge connecting your new technical upgrades to actual environmental sustainability. Buying software will not automatically make your company green. If you upgrade your servers but fail to redesign your workflows or train cross-departmental teams to use them, the technology sits idle. This model shows how digital payments, blockchain, and AI all funnel directly into that central mediating node for organizational innovation. Following the flow to the right, the 0.338 path coefficient proves this innovation is required to achieve measurable environmental sustainability. The software tools are simply raw materials. It is the culture of collaboration and workflow redesign that actually converts those tools into lower carbon footprints and green financial products. The complete blueprint requires layering digital payments, targeted blockchain ledgers, and predictive AI, and then filtering all of that data through an innovative company culture. This model isolates that exact path. the technical tools must pass through organizational innovation to finally reach the sustainability goal. A firm that follows this sequence builds a resilient financial system. It complies with emerging green regulations while operating with the transparency required to attract modern investors. You do not need to implement this entire four-step roadmap tomorrow morning. This side-by-side comparison displays a tech audit. It is the process of mapping a single paper-heavy workflow against a digital alternative to see exactly where the friction lies. Find one specific paper-reliant workflow in your department this week. Map out exactly what it would take to transition it to a digital portal, and you will have started your firm's sustainable evolution.